It's time for Around the Ozarks in 5. Brought to you by the Butterfly Palace and Rainforest Adventure, Adventure Cave Tours, and Talking Rocks Cavern. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads.
Hey, good morning to you on Wednesday. We got a lot to talk about today, so we're going to get right to it.
The state of Missouri is helping out farmers with hay and water in parts of the state where there has been bad drought. The Department of Agriculture and Governor Parson allowing boat ramps at 25 Missouri state parks to be open for farmers to collect water. They're also opening up 700 acres of land available at 17 state parks for farmers to collect hay. They must let the Conservation Department know if you're collecting those resources. So if you are a farmer in need, you can get all the information that you would need at dnr.mo.gov. So check it out for all of the information regarding that. All right, Springfield residents, listen up. 12,000 of us are getting surveys in the mail to find out your opinion on how the city is doing, like different programs, city-sponsored events and programs, basically. They're sending out a citizen satisfaction survey to help with their long-term planning. It takes about 15 minutes to complete, and the feedback will be used to set their priorities for the future. They're just being randomly sent out.
Okay. I'm glad they're asking. They want the input.
I know. I think it's cool. I hope people actually fill it out because it's a random selection, 12,000 people, but people are suspicious these days to fill out anything, which
true.
I understand, but it's helpful.
Just don't give me your bank account. Missouri-born scientist George Washington Carver is getting some love now. A $70,000 grant from the African American Cultural Heritage Action Fund will help preserve the old schoolhouse where he and hundreds of other Black children were educated. It sits in Neosho, as it has since 1872. It's listed on the National Register of Historic Places. It's the only, in fact, Missouri site to get a sizable grant to help restore and remember such a place as George Washington Carver's old schoolhouse. Super cool. What an incredible man unbelievable. The peanut, come on.
Is he the peanut one who found the different use for the peanut and like all of the people need to read about that if they haven't. There's your tease. For some reason, I didn't recognize that was him. That's amazing.
Yes. He knows the peanut and all the uses for it, and it really is an incredible backstory. If you have a loved one looking to find good work after prison, Missouri just could be the state for them. In fact, it looks like it is. A new national program helps the formerly incarcerated re-enter society successfully and find good job. Missouri is the first state to sign up for this program called Reentry 2030 to boost job prospects for the thousands of inmates who were released last year from state prisons. This means help with job training skills, help with resumes, making sure they have all the proper documentation that they need. There have been 13,000 Missourians released from prison each year over the past 2 years, and some 53,000 on probation or parole. And they're going to need something to do when they're out of prison. So this is a neat program that hopefully will do the trick.
Yep. Okay, a cool new restaurant or restaurants, depending on how you look at it, is now open for business in Nixa. I drove by it the other day. It looks super cool. It's called 14 Mill Market on East Mount Vernon Street. So if you live in the Nixa area, you've seen it being built. But if not, there will be multiple eateries all under one roof. Everything from a deli to a waffle company to tacos to a soul kitchen. So there should be something for everyone.
Something for everybody.
Food vendors. Actually, I went to a place similar to what I think this is in Kansas City, where there's also like a turf field where like the kids can play around, like kick the ball, whatever. It's like a common space for people to sit and then play outside and go to all the different restaurants.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's like an outdoor type food court, so that lots of different choices. I love it. I'm excited about it. I want to get over there and check it out.
Yep. Well, now you can. It's officially open. It's open. Also, the old taco habitat that closed down on Glenstone, right by Target. You know the one because I love that place and I was super sad to see it go. But Now it's going to turn into the 4th Black Sheep location, which
Okay.
should be open later this summer. The owner reports it's going to be similar to the Black Sheep ASAP, which is a bit of a smaller menu, I guess, but it's still considered like a fast food, casual, sit down restaurant with a drive through.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. We could do a lot worse than Black Sheep over there. That's for sure. So we were sad when Taco Habitat closed down because it was fun to go in there. We liked the food. But we were just wondering the other day as we drove by it, what are they going to do with that? Because it's a neat space. It's a neat building. So it seems like it'll work perfectly. Black Sheep, good for them.
Yep.
Are-
Out with the old. Sorry, I thought this was you. Out with the old and in with the new. The old White House Theater in Branson is auctioning off all their old contents to make room for the new Branson Police Headquarters. The city bought that building last year to renovate it into a new police station. You might remember that. The auction is on June 16th at the theater on Gretna Road. So if you're in the market for a commercial kitchen, appliances, theater furniture, sinks, props from different sets, basically anything and everything that you'd find in a theater, you can go find it at the auction on June 16th.
I feel like I could use a commercial kitchen. That'd be nice.
Shocking. I know.
Imagine how much pulled pork I could turn out in a commercial kitchen.
And I would eat it because I make my own rendition of pulled pork nachos, inspired by Taco Habitat.
It's pretty good. You probably know this already. Inflation was up by 4% from May of last year through May of this year. High housing costs drove the inflation number up. As bad as inflation rate has been over the last year or more, actually two, an inflation rate of 4% is actually being celebrated as a good thing. Yeah, because it's the smallest rate jump in 2 years. So, hey, it's not as bad as it was.
I would say that that's something to celebrate.
Well, we'll take it. I mean, it's the best we got right now,
Exactly.
so we'll take it. I don't know. Celebrating is a little much, but we'll take it. Experts think that because of that, the Federal Reserve will not raise interest rates this week, as they were considering, after a series of rate hikes to try to battle with the high inflation rate. So maybe that's working, which is great. You know how we joke about COVID money just keeps flowing. It seems like every week we have a new story about COVID money.
Which,
still
by the
being
way, is like related to the inflation story. But
Of course.
we're reading them as unrelated. But
Yeah, no, they're related. You can't just print money. Now we know there's a lot of fraud and misuse of that vast amount of taxpayer money being handed out. In fact, fraud accounted for at least $280 billion. Another $123 billion was wasted or misspent. That adds up to 10% of the $4.2 trillion of COVID money that the feds have given out. And when we say those numbers, a billion, we can't even fathom what a billion is. Certainly a trillion. A trillion is so much money that you can't even wrap your head around it. And we talk about it like, the country's in $30 trillion of debt. And you're like, oh, okay. What am I going to eat? I'm going to go to the mill in Nixa today. you
Right,
think
right,
about
right.
it for about that long.
yeah.
But $1 trillion is just an astronomical amount of money. If you put it in millions and count how many of that, because we have a sense of how many a million is, but you figure out how much $1 trillion is, it's insanity.
Yeah.
But those are the numbers we're talking about. So.
All right, now to this. A new Gallup poll reveals the American public strongly opposes allowing transgender females, so biological males who transition to female, to compete in women's and girls' sports at any level. 69% of Americans say that trans athletes should only be allowed to compete on teams that match their gender at birth. So, okay. We tell you about this every Wednesday, so today's the day. Again, it is time for the free half-hour lunchtime concert at Founders Park in downtown Springfield. Grab your lunch, and then today you can enjoy the Springfield Little Theater performing some of your favorite songs from musical theater.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Some show tunes out there. on Founders Park. That'll be a great time.
Yeah. And now this one, the annual Balloon Glow, which is so beautiful, is happening. Surely you've seen it in Ozark at the Finley River Park. The actual glow starts at dusk, typically around 8:30-ish is dusk. Of course, the weather is the biggest factor because this is where the hot air balloons stay on the ground and then they are inflated. So it's got to be good weather to be a go, which makes
Okay,
sense.
we'll be watching for that. We lived in Ozark for a while, and the balloon glow was the kids loved it. Very exciting.
I remember actually, this is weird because I worked in news, obviously. I did not know the balloon glow was happening or going on. And I would drove by and was flabbergasted at how cool it was. I had no idea that this happens every single year at the park in Ozark. And it was amazing. It's free too. You can walk around for free, paid for by the wonderful people at Children's Smile Center. If you're not familiar, check them out. They do so much work, like dental work, primarily for children, but it's amazing. So help them out if you can, because this is free because of them. Of course, it's also time for Sertoma Duck Race because they happen together. That one does have cost, but it's still an awesome event down at the park on the Finley River. So bring the fam.
We've emceed the daytime parts of that before, haven't we?
Yes.
I believe we have. Yeah.
Yeah, of the Sertoma Duck Race. Yes, we've emceed it.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe a couple times, and it was great fun, and I loved it. So anyway, it's kind of a big weekend.
Yeah. Well, this is what we'll close with this morning. I wish it was tonight. If you're in the market for a new home, how does a 3-bedroom, 3-bath sound? The price tag? $3 million. But then you can brag that you own the former house of Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes. He is selling his house. It's officially on the market. Apparently, they bought some land to build a house, so they'll be moving out of the house they're currently in, but you can live in Patrick Mahomes' house. It would be about as cool as owning John Voight's car, which is a Seinfeld reference that some of my favorite people in the audience will understand and get.
I'm glad that you clarified, because if Ethan ever makes any reference, you can assume Seinfeld and be safe pretty much 100% of the time. But I was unfamiliar with that one. So thank you for that clarification.
Yeah, he was George found out it was John Voight's car, the actor, and then he decided to buy the car, even though that's not what he was buying. And then they didn't think it was the actual actor, so they had a pencil in the glove compartment that had a tooth bite on it. So they tried to match up the pencil to John Voight's teeth, and they found out it wasn't the same John Voight.
Yeah,
it was a funny premise.
All right. So balloon glow this weekend, Patrick Mahomes' house for sale, the important stories of the day.
And restaurants. We're telling people we're restaurants. There's a new Black Sheep, the Mill in Nixa. Exciting.
Yeah.
Okay. That'll do it, right? Is that it?
Gentlemen, make sure you check out the weather if you're going to the balloon glow, because again, it's weather dependent. So there you go.
All right. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.